Morning, welcome back to Homestead on the Brook. Today we are going to be doing an odd job, and that odd job is cleaning up the house site area. It's very overgrown. There's weeds almost as tall as me because I haven't had much time to do yard work in between building the house, full-time work, editing videos on YouTube. It's a lot. So, heading over to the shipping container to just drop off some shelves that Grace bought so that we can organise our shipping container a little bit better. Then we head over to the house site, do a bit of yard cleanup, rubbish cleanup, and just get the house site looking really swish again. Alright, let's head over to the house site and get set up. Now, you will see in the background that we have advanced quite far with the subfloor build for our house. And I know what you're thinking, Jake, where's the next episode of the house build series? And it's coming. I have 220 gigabytes of footage to comb through and to make episodes out of. It hasn't actually taken as long as you think. Because we only do building on Saturdays, even 5 months of building, because we started the subfloor mid-May, so 2 weeks of May, so that's 2 days, so 2 Saturdays, 4 Saturdays in June, 4 Saturdays in July. So already that's only like 15 days, that's only 2 weeks worth of work in 2.5 months. So we've only had about 3.5 weeks of work on the subfloor. But it's taken us 5 months because we've only been doing it on Saturdays. And you'll see here in the background, here's a bit of the subfloor. So it's very exciting, it's coming along. And we've also got some material sitting on a trailer here for a little toilet block that's going to go onto those stumps. But this is the mess we're about to clean up today. I wasn't joking when I said some of these weeds are taller than I am. It's crazy. This is our canvas today. We're going to give all this a really good slash, get this under control. There's lots of weeds. We're going to get started. These might just pull out of the ground, Huh. They pull out quite easily. We'll tidy up this later. Let's go back over to the main part and we'll do some rubbish cleanup. Well, it looks a whole lot better. This is the first time I've mowed since we started building the house in May. All we've been doing every weekend is just building the house. So now that it's all presentable and nice, I'm going to get Grace to give you guys a bit of a tour of all the different things we're going to do around the house. So, give us the grand tour.
Welcome to the front garden. So we're just going to have a little walk around and visualize what I have planned in my head. So we did a little like concept exploration, talking about all my different ideas for how we're going to develop this specific 1 acre part of our property, which has our house on it, our house site, if you will. And that is in episode 1 of From the Ground Up of our build series. But I was mostly just like showing pictures and talking ideas. So this is where it's all going to happen. This is where the magic's going to happen. We're going to have this whole front space, like literally this whole thing is going to be front yard. That's going to be basically some maybe like stone fruit trees, cottage garden, and probably have like little patches of lawn so that we can just come out and actually enjoy the gardens, maybe have little tea parties and stuff and be fancy. The boring stuff, I guess, is like just the driveway, like that will butt up against the dam wall, and that will come from down past the camp and come all the way up through and go off to the right side of the house, bend around in front of where the toilet block will be. I don't know if you can see those steel stumps, but in front of those stumps, and there will be a carport on that side of the house. So between where the house starts and that driveway is going to be garden. We'll just have some stairs coming off the front of the house here. Wait, where are the stairs going to be? Here? Yeah, the stairs will be here, basically as wide as these 2 stumps at the front. So they'll come down. I also made a little request to make the stairs widen at like the bottom and get more narrow as they go up, but we'll see. I think it'll just look a little bit more fancy. There isn't a whole lot going on at the front. It's just literally just a 2-meter veranda, and there's like just a straight roof, 1 gable. I don't even think it constitutes as a gable. It's just like 1 pitch. So very, very simple design. So I thought maybe we might add some interest with some stairs widening, or like a landing and then 1 stair and then another landing and then 2 stairs off it, maybe down the future, down the track. I think I did like a really rough estimate layout on my graphic design program, and it's about 500 square meters of just garden, not including the driveways and stuff. So that'll be fun. Lots of roses, gardenias, star jasmine. There's going to be a picket fence, an arbor. There's going to be with all these climbing, flowering plants. There'll be a path. I'm thinking beelining it from the arbor to the stairwell. And then, I don't know if you can see in the video, but the ground kind of dips as it gets to the stumps of the house. So one of the advantages of like building through multiple seasons is like seeing what happens with lots of rainfall. We had a cyclone, so lucky us, we got to see what happens when there's an inundation of water and it all basically runs down to this little well here at the front of the house. So we're going to have to put a French drain there, takes the water out and down the fence, down the driveway, and that way we won't be walking through a swamp every time we go into our house. I think we'll have like a service road or like a service path on that side of the house, just so we can get like wheelbarrows or a tractor down there without having to gallivant around the whole property. We can just go straight from the driveway down to the back. Fontaine's paddock's just there, so this is my idea. Just lots of screening. Like I kind of just want to put like a bajillion lily pillies everywhere and just like screen that off from the paddock. Try to get the ones that grow as tall as they can. I don't know how tall they grow. Completely screen off the west side of the property, which is where the road that you need to access our property. But it's like there's nothing else on either side of the road. it's just like this big spectacle that's below eye level too, which I think probably doesn't help with the visibility. That's like maybe 3 meters up higher than here, so it's just like overlooks our whole entire house block, and so I feel a little bit vulnerable down here. So it'll be good to put some screening plants. We're thinking fruit trees. I really want to get an orchard going. That's part of the vision, using the space to grow our own food. Lots and lots of food for lots and lots of boys who are super hungry. They just need to feed them, and I can't afford it, so we're going to grow our own food. And this is where the carport's going to be. So this is where the driveway will come in, big enough for 2 cars. These star pickets is like the framing for where the carport's going to be. In between the toilet block, which is the next project, and the septic is where our schoolhouse is going to be. So pretty excited about that. Actually, I would really love it to look like those old school schoolhouses with like the gable roof and the like little bell tower. It's a bit extra, but it's just wood. Like all it is a little bit of extra wood. So, and it'll look cute forever. And then we could always, once we decommission it from being a schoolhouse, because everyone grows up and they go do their own thing, and I have an empty schoolhouse, we could turn it into a studio or a granny flat, because it'll be joined onto this toilet block, so it'll have its own facility. It could be like a little housing situation for one of the children who wants to save money and they need somewhere to shack up, or yeah, put a retired parent in there who wants to be close by and needs to be taken care of. I have like so many visions, ideas for the back. Do you want to go down the back and talk about the back? So this will probably just stay clear so that we could get like trucks and stuff at the back for like landscaping materials, servicing, get a caravan back here. I can imagine that people will like bring their caravans and stuff and just like set up camp here. Yeah, all that space is just going to be like a nice pretty garden, like a designated garden for the schoolhouse, with the big trees and some nice decent lawn. And outdoor learning is like the best environment for children to do their schoolwork. There's a little quail. Can you see it? It's so fat and small. Oh, it's gone. There's little quails around here, like little wild ones, and they run around in little pairs. Anyway, this is like, I want to say it's extra, but it's not. I want to put like a big outdoor living, just like a big al fresco with like crazy paved floor and a big pergola that grow pretty grapevines and have like the festoon lights, and just here on this side of the property, on the west side of the property, big enough to like have a modest outdoor kitchen, just like with barbecue and food prep spaces. It would just get used a lot with 6 people, one of them being an introvert. It's nice to just like have separate spaces where you can just go and do whatever you need to do without having people in your face all the time. But also, we love entertaining and just hosting people and having spaces and facilities to feel like we can accommodate as many people that wants to come. So we were like regular Christmas hosting, we like hosting the birthday parties here, and like we were still hosting stuff when we were in a tent. So, but that's going to be like, that's low on the priority list after the schoolhouse, because after the schoolhouse I actually want to have a gym on the other side of the toilet block. Not massive, maybe like 6 meters by 9 meters, maybe a bit bigger if we can get away with it. But yeah, enough for equipment, all the different equipments, mostly weights, maybe a couple of cardio machines, but not super big on that. Like we live in a country block on like a massive 4-kilometer road. It's just like straight 4 kilometers. So if you want to do some cardio, just go for a cute walk. Anyway, I can imagine it's going to pay off investing in the facility and the equipment for our own personal gym, with 6 of us and 4 of them who are boys who are going to be farm boys, and you know, they need a workout to protect themselves from the back-breaking work that's involved in maintaining this property. And that was why we did it, to to come out here and have a lot to do, but there's responsibilities that come along with that, like taking care of yourself and making sure you're not going to injure yourself. So I mean, you don't think about that when you're 16, but you think about it when you're 30. What else? There isn't really a whole lot planned for this space. This is probably mostly just going to be yard, and I'll just have like, you know, just a few little clusters of garden beds. There'll just be cute little garden beds here and there, just to kind of like break it up and add some interest, make it a bit more dynamic, give some variation to the visual from the back deck, because the kitchen window faces this backyard. It's over 2 meter wide window that's like 1.5 meters high. It's a really ginormous window, so you get a really good scope of the whole yard, and so it'll be nice to make it really visually appealing. There'll be a greenhouse, probably a tool shed somewhere out here. I don't really think there's any other infrastructure other than that, and then the whole basically like back third of the house side is going to be veggie garden. There's the quail. There it is over there. Can you see it? It's so cute and small. It's very camouflaged. There's two there. Oh, the little friends. I think there's like a little nest in there because I saw a little tunnel in the grass. I thought it was a fox, but it must be the quails. Anyway, yeah, that whole like back third of the house site's going to be fruit and veggie garden. So I had a taste of veggie gardening back in our suburban place. We had 8 90 centimeter by 2.1 meter garden beds, so just like some little guys, and I could grow heaps of food, but I did feel like it wasn't enough because I wanted crops that take up lots of space, like pumpkins and sweet potatoes and normal potatoes and corn, and so this is going to be epic. I'm very patiently waiting to give this the time and attention that it deserves to just make it the garden of my dreams. I think about it all the time.
Yeah.
So much food, so much, and I'm gonna make it so pretty, and like it's gonna be epic. It's gonna be so good. If I had to choose between this house and this garden, I would choose the garden. If I had to live in that carport in order to have this garden, I would live in the carport for the rest of my life. That's how keen I am for this. But obviously, first things first. So we're going to finish the house. And then, yeah, if we hit some roadblocks with the house, I might start with some garden beds and some of the like real staple crops like tomatoes and greens and, you know, the really easy ones. And just have something going. But yeah. Garden shed. Lots of equipment and all the bits and pieces you need to run your garden. Maybe one day a pool.
Maybe. When
we are like old and need something to take care of because all our kids have left home.
Like, subscribe, share.
Like, subscribe, share if you want to fund our retirement pool. I'm not averse to the idea of having a pool. It's just another thing to take care of, and I want to prioritize my energies on my children at the moment. But imagine having a pool when they're all grown up and they've all got their own families, and we do like a Christmas thing here, and everyone just like has a little dip in the pool. There's no trees to ruin it, so it could be strategic with where we put it, somewhere that's not under the trees, dropping leaves and stuff. But it doesn't have to be ginormous, just enough to fit a family of 6 plus 4 spouses and all the children.
Yeah.
But yeah, one day, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm a visionary. I could come up with anything. I can talk about all the things I see when I look at this all day. But let's just start with the basics. I got spiked.
Ouch.
What other visionary stuff do you want me to talk about? I think that's it for now. This is what my plan's been for the like past 18 months now, and it hasn't really changed at all.
Yeah.
I think after being a homeowner and renting, knowing how I use my spaces, knowing what my family rhythms are, how we like to spend our time, you know, what's actually going to be worth maintaining and worth the effort, and what's going to serve us as a family, I feel like I've got pretty solid pretty solid start.
Yeah. Well, that's the end of this odd job, and I promise I'm working on the house build episode. It looks like we've done a lot, and we have done a lot, but I just haven't had a lot of time to edit the 220 gigs of footage I've taken.
We have a lot of footage because we want it to be good.
Yeah.
It looks like we're doing like the same thing over and over again, so we just wanted to capture actually all the different things that we're doing. That's the thing about building. It's just like, it's not super inspiring unless you're thinking about the end result. So it's not inspiring because you're just doing these really like monotonous things over and over and over again. But yeah, we're trying to make something that's relatively boring seem relatively interesting.
Yeah.
So that's no small task.
Yeah, and I haven't been editing as I've been going. I've kind of started editing since we finished a couple of weekends ago, this current phase.
There's a lot of work to do on that still, so. But it's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. We haven't forgotten about you.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you for joining us on the Brook, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.